Welcome to the channel. I'm going to start filming some longer form content now, hopefully diving a little bit more in depth of anything fitness and nutrition related. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, hit the follow button, and let's get into it. This video is going to be all about weight loss, and I've referred to my good friend Chat GPT for some of the most commonly asked weight loss questions. So the number one most commonly asked question is, what is the best diet for weight loss? In my opinion, as long as you're consuming enough protein and dietary fat, they literally can all be the best. It does all come down to personal preference. I would go absolutely crazy if I was just to stick to a keto diet or carnivore diet or turn vegan, God forbid. But yeah, I'd recommend something that doesn't cut out an entire food group, and something that's not too restrictive, that it still allows you to eat the foods that you enjoy eating, but just in moderation. But I'm also not your doctor or your mum, so you can kind of do whatever works for you. Do you need to exercise to lose weight? Short answer, no. Reducing your calories and sticking to a calorie deficit will do all the work for you, essentially. However, I do highly recommend exercising whilst you're in a calorie deficit or in a dieting phase. It's going to make it, one, a little bit faster, and also a little bit easier for you to maintain. Reason being is a lot of individuals, especially those that work an office job or are sedentary, throughout the day will need to consume quite a low amount of calories, a lot lower than probably what they're used to be able to see results without exercising. So if you're able to do a balance of both, you'll, one, be able to eat a little bit more whilst losing weight, and two, you'll also lose it a little bit faster as well, which is always kind of what everyone's after. How can I boost my metabolism to lose weight? Unless you're taking crack and going absolutely ham on a daily basis, there's nothing that you can take that's going to boost your metabolism significantly enough that you'll notice significant weight loss. Quite literally, the only thing you can do to boost your metabolism would be to move more. More activity, you burn more, your body's burning more calories, and that way you'll be able to consume more and still be able to lose weight. And before you start sending a bunch of hate comments, that skinny friend that you've got with a fast metabolism is probably not consuming as much as you think he is on a regular basis, or two, he's a lot more active than you think he is, and that's why he isn't gaining the weight that you are. And same goes for as people start to get a little bit older and they feel that their metabolism slows down. It's not really the case. 9 times out of 10, it's actually just simply that you're moving a lot less than what you were when you were younger. The metabolism doesn't slow down at a significant enough rate that you'll notice significant changes or significant weight increase if your calories remain the same. Are low carb or low fat diets more effective for fat loss? If calories are equal, it doesn't matter. They'll both work the exact same as each other. However, in my opinion, I would tend to lean towards a more lower fat diet, purely because you can keep food volume a little bit higher, meaning you can eat more food within a given calorie range rather than having a higher fat content. Generally just more food for the calorie volume, like I just said. But in saying that, you still need to keep dietary fats in, making sure you have at least 0.5 gram of fat per kilogram of body weight. It is an essential nutrient still. What are the most common mistakes people make when trying to lose weight? I'd say lack of knowledge on mainly portion sizes, to be honest. Most people have generally a good idea about what they should and shouldn't be eating during a fat loss phase or a diet, but portion size is probably where people trip up. Things like what a serving of rice or looks like, or a serving of oil looks like, is where people will trip up. Things like rice, oils, nuts, pastas, things like that can be quite calorie dense while still being packed full of nutrients and healthy. You just need to figure out what portion sizes are going to work for you within your calorie requirement. And I think that's where people slip up the most, and that's where people struggle when they are in a fat loss phase. Next thing would be cheat meals or days off plan. People seem to just either, one, just desperately need this day where they just binge. Sometimes it's not a planned day, but they just, or a day where they just completely forget about what they're doing throughout the week, and they don't realize that if you're consuming in excess of 2,000, 3,000 calories over the weekend, it's going to make a difference to your fat loss overall. One day, whilst it won't kill your fat loss completely, it will significantly slow it. And if you're doing that on a regular basis, you're just treading water, essentially. and you might be dieting for 6 weeks but only lose 2 kilos, and that's kind of not where anyone wants to be. Final thing would just be just not giving it enough time, just simply giving up when it gets tough and just not being consistent with it. Those who stick with it for a long enough period and stick to it well are the ones that get results. Can sleep affect weight loss? You don't really have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure out that if you're in a sleep deprived state and you're constantly tired, you're clearly not going to want to be as active as you otherwise would if you had had a good night's sleep for the whole week and you were full of energy. So on the very basic level, you're going to be less active if you sleep less. And that will affect how many calories your body's burning throughout the day and will affect your weight loss. Now, if you dive in a little bit deeper, I'm not going to pretend like I know all the sciences of it, but essentially your ghrelin hormone will increase, which is the hormone that tells you that you are hungry, and your leptin levels will decrease, which is the hormone that tells you that you're full. So essentially also your hormones are slightly out of whack, and you're probably going to be hungrier if you are more tired, which we all know will generally lead to consuming more food. What should I expect for the first 2 to 3 weeks of my fat loss diet? Expect to be hungry. The first 2 to 3 weeks is probably the hardest change, where your body's kind of not used to consuming the calories that it's now been restricted to. So that is where you'll generally find you're the hungriest, moodiest, and it's probably the most difficult to adhere to. But if you can break that 2 to 3 week barrier and stick to it 100%, you'll find that your body will adapt to the new calories and it will become easier over time. Expect to see your weight drop fast and then slow down. Within the first 2 to 3 weeks, most of my clients will drop several kilos like that, and then it will slow. Majority of that weight loss is through glycogen or water weight, or just simply just reducing food volume. So they're just dropping weight that isn't body fat. It's just weight on the scales. I wouldn't expect to see great changes in the mirror either. That's quite slow for the first couple of weeks. I wouldn't be taking a look at yourself in the mirror expecting to see great change over the first couple of weeks. That will generally come after. Once you kind of break that 3 week mark, that's when you'll start to notice small changes in the body, and that will just continue on as long as the weight continues to drop. So essentially stick with it and you will be rewarded. How many calories should I consume to lose weight? You fucking serious? You expect me to give that information out for free? Only kidding. If you visit my profile, I've got a free calorie calculator that you can use. It'll put you on the right track. But generally, as a guide, 500 calories below your maintenance is what I would recommend for most, give or take, depending on what your calorie requirements are. If you've got a lower calorie requirement than someone else, I might reduce that 500 to say only 300 below maintenance. But if you're someone who's got a much higher calorie requirement, then I could even increase the 500 slightly higher than the 500 to see faster fat loss if that person can adhere to those calories. But again, if you don't know what your maintenance is, that calculator that I mentioned previously will sort you out, so get onto it. What are the most effective fat loss tips? Without a shadow of a doubt, it's adherence to a calorie restricted diet. That will do all the heavy lifting for you. Figure out the calories that's not too little, that you can maintain for a significant period of time, that is putting you in a calorie deficit, and that is number one. Number two, increase your daily movement, whether that be going for a walk, trying to achieve a step target that's higher than what you currently are doing. If you're someone who's particularly active already, that's not as big of a deal. But for people who are sedentary or don't move a lot throughout the day, just moving more will simply assist in the fat loss process, and it's something that I would recommend 95% of people do. Number three, fruit and veg. People seem to forget about fruit and veg quite a bit, and I don't really hear anyone talking about it. It's super low calorie. You can have a shitload of it for very little calories. If you are hungry, just eat fruit and veg. I don't think there's anyone who's gained weight from eating fruit and veg or not lost weight on their diet because they ate too much fruit and veg. Genuinely, the easiest thing to do if you are hungry. If you feel like you are hungry and you don't want to eat a piece of fruit or don't want to eat veg, you're not actually fucking hungry. Just deal with it. Number 4, I'm always going to recommend resistance training to everyone. It's not essential. If you're only looking to lose body fat, you don't have to do resistance training. It's not going to burn a shitload of calories doing an hour session in the gym, but it will improve your body composition. For a lot of people who only have a little bit of weight to lose, especially clients that come to me with maybe they're really already at a healthy weight, but they want to tone up, for those people, I tend to lean them towards more of a resistance training route, because majority of what people are looking for is essentially just adding a little bit of muscle mass to their frame, so they look a little bit different, changes their body composition, they get a bit more shape, or that toned look that people are looking for. It's not always due to reducing body fat. Sometimes it can just be done by adding muscle mass to achieve the body image that you're looking for. And if you're looking for both losing body fat and toning up, then obviously this is the route to go as well. How can I stay motivated during my fat loss journey? You need to back yourself. You need to genuinely believe that it absolutely can be done. Think about it like skydiving. If someone told me to jump out of a plane with a parachute on my back, I'd tell them to get absolutely fucked. But if they strap someone to my back with 3 teeth in his head and a set of speed dealers that does it for a living, I'm grabbing my credit card and I'm spending that shit and I'm jumping out the plane because I trust the guy for some weird reason. Same thing with fat loss. If you don't believe that you can do it or trust the process of it working, then it's not going to work. It's not going to work out. You won't stay adherent to it because you're not fully invested in the process. So yeah, back yourself. Know that millions of people have done it before in all different situations of life. That people that are in harder situations than you, that weigh more than you, have disabilities, etc., that have all done it before. It can be done, so back yourself. I think the reason that a lot of my clients see success when they previously hadn't with fat loss is that I'm the one programming for them. It's nothing crazy different to what they've seen before. It's just that they believe in me and my process, so they stick to it and then they see the results. There's no different if you're doing it on your own. You just have to back yourself and believe that what you're doing is right, or find someone to help you that so you know that it's right, and then just sticking with it and you'll get the results you're after. Are there weight loss programs that work better than others? Yeah, absolutely there are. If you're following a program that reduces your calories to the point where you start losing weight and you're enjoying it and you can stick to it for a long period of time, then that's a good program. If a different program puts you in a calorie reduced state and you lose weight but you hate it, then that's not a good program. Quite simple. For me, I couldn't stick to a vegan or a carnivore diet. I would go fucking insane. But that doesn't mean that it's not right for everyone. If someone can stick to something and enjoys it and it's working for them, then you should stick to it. It's about finding what works for you and just, adhering to it for as long as possible and getting where you want to be. All right, that's the end of this video. Chat GPT's come in clutch with some good questions for me. If you have any questions or want me to expand on anything, drop it in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a like, give me a follow if you want, and I'll see you in the next one.